This is Jason Avant, and you listen to the Crazy Train Radio.
Not all football helmets are created equal. Zenith, the industry leader in protective technology, is the only helmet in the game with adaptive head protection featuring a shock suspension system that can move independently from the helmet shell. Headquartered and developed in Detroit, Zenith is committed to player safety and revolutionary innovation. Zenith is proud to protect athletes at every level from Pee Wee to the pros. Learn more about the Zenith difference at zenith.com. That's XENITH.com.
Listen, we all have images of things we want in painting. We also have creative ideas that we want it painted. So, if you want something painted, we want you to go see our friends at Veronica Custom Painting. They have specials for $12 for your first painting, $20 around that point for two, and they also have a special of buy three, you get one free. So they do everything from animals, things you might have in portrait, custom work, whatever you want, they can paint. So go visit them, Veronica Custom Painting. That's BRIORCA Custom Painting. Find them on Facebook, contact them today.
Yeah, we're down here at Launch Trampoline Park in Deptford, New Jersey. Instead of doing it over the phone, we thought it was local enough to come down. We're here with the owner, and you guys know this guy from his days playing with the Eagles, later on Carolina, went to Kansas City, the whole gamut. University of Michigan for the college fans. Jason Avant. Jason, how's it going, man?
Everything's going well. Sitting here, enjoying retired life, and over here at Launch Trampoline Park, enjoying the day-to-day process.
Yes. Well, let's start with, obviously we'll talk some football, the draft's coming up and on field, but let's obviously start with Launch. You're a franchisee. Ty Law, a cornerback, fellow Michigan alum, started this company and whatnot. What would you want the fans to know about Launch if they decide to come here or any of that?
Yeah. Well, our Launch is Launch is great. It's a great franchise, and they're up and coming franchise. I believe in their vision of their expansion game plan, and the thing that I love about them is that they give the franchisee a voice, and they listen to our ideas, they put it on a panel, put it up for discussion with some of those that are higher up in the company, and they give you a clear-cut answer and a reason why, if they agree with it or they disagree with it. And they also allow us to have some freedom in design and different things like that, as long as it's within a certain color scheme. And as far as Launch Deptford is concerned, we're very, very unique. When you come in, you're like, wow, because it's nicely appointed when it comes to decorations. It's modern. And we also have a lot of attractions here. It's not just a trampoline park. We have Ninja Warrior, rock climbing, battle beam, indoor playground, arcade, cafe, you name it. As many things as I did name, we have a lot of things here.
Yeah, I walked in about 10 minutes ago from when we started recording this and all.
Yeah.
Like you said, just the layout from when you walk in the door. You got the desk, then you, right over to your left, right away, you see about the Ninja Warrior that I saw some kids and all, and some staff over at. So, right off the bat, the layout is awesome.
Yeah.
And, when you do all the things that you have here, I haven't had a chance to check out the whole place yet, but most people don't realize when you come to have fun, but it's a workout too.
Yeah.
For the kids, adults, whoever's participating.
Yeah, see, moms recognize that as well. So a lot of our kids, they're having so much fun, but don't realize that they're burning calories and that they're getting fit and all those types of things. So that's the part of it that we really, really like, is that it's active fun. And that's what I wanted to do. I just didn't want to be in the FEC or Family Entertainment Center business. I want it to be in an active, fun business. It's something that I've been active my whole life, and I believe in it. I want my kids to be active, and I want everyone's kids to be active. And I know that it's a problem in our society. Just think about it. It's more dangerous than ever. So moms are reluctant to bring their kids outside to the park anymore, just because of the fear that's going on in our country.
No, there's so much
of it. So we want to provide a safe place for kids to come in and get that active, running around, let that energy out like they should.
You know, you and me are about the same age, and it's like, you know how much things have changed even from when we grew up. And you grew up out in the Midwest near Chicago and all, and me in this area. But if you think about it, and you probably think of it from a different perspective, being a father of three, worrying about the safety of your kids and everything else, taking them out. It's amazing, like you said there, how much has changed. But you got a place here that you could bring your kids in. It's definitely a safe environment, but it's also a fun environment as well.
So we definitely gear ourselves to try to have as much fun as possible for the kids. I think it's a very, very safe place, just because, like I said, there's so much crime in our culture is that the parents are afraid to take their kids outside, and we want to provide a safe place and a place that we can kind of trick the kids into having and being active and fit. You know, you're moving around on those trampolines, you're dunking a basketball, you're playing dodgeball, or you're rock climbing or doing a ninja course. You don't realize how strenuous it is until you're sweating at the end of the day. And so that's what we want to do. We want to have active fun center.
Yeah, because you know, it's funny. I heard a little girl family was leaving as I was coming in the door, and I heard the little girl go, "Mommy, I'm sweating from all that running around." And it was funny, you know, just like the kid was just cluing into. Now, like you said, you were active, played NFL the whole bit. You know, so you're always physical there. Right before you opened up the place here, were you, did you get to try anything, or like, man, and you go, damn, that beat my butt a little bit, you know, that kind of.
No, it definitely, like, yes. So I'm still active. I still get on the trampolines. I'm on the trampolines every day. So,
but you know, did you walk away and go, man, that gave me a workout?
Exactly. Especially like when I do the ninja course. The ninja course is one of those things where you like, man, it's an upper body workout.
Yeah.
And everyone that gets there and get up there, you realize like, oh my goodness, you have to be strong to do this. You know.
Yeah, like it was funny. Right before you were dealing with another family and a customer, you know, just interacting, talking with them. I watched one kid. He was starting to do this ninja thing we were talking about a minute ago. But then I guess an older brother, like teenager or whatever, I didn't really get a glimpse. Oh, I can do it. You know, you can see that confidence. But it's like you saw him, like after they got a little steps. Wow, that's you can you could see that realization hitting. Yeah. But you know, was that part of the factor as far as launch is concerned, getting into this type of field post NFL because of your kids? Was that part of the thought process?
Yeah, it was.
What you wanted to do?
Yeah, my kids love family entertainment centers. They love. We're always going somewhere to spend money to keep them active or have fun or whatever. And I was in a park in Charlotte, and my kids loved it. And I began to say, you know what, I can run this. I have the background, went to University of Michigan, I got to use it for something. And I began to research, and I just caught the bug, and I began to research. And so what I did from that point on, for the next 2 years, I worked in the parks in the off season. So when I would work out in the morning, I would go work in Newark, Delaware at a launch Trampoline Park, so I can get the day-to-day operations down and see what the accounting was like in the back office, those types of things.
Learn the other aspects of having
the business. So I was preparing myself for it. I knew that football was dwindling down because of my age, not because I couldn't play. I still can play, but the age is a negative connotation.
At a certain point, it starts
to fight against you.
Now, did you reach out to Ty Law there, being a fellow Michigan alum, to say, hey, I'm thinking about becoming a franchisee?
I did.
How did you get involved with him?
Well, you know what? I knew him, and we also had mutual friends. So I knew him from alumni deals at the University of Michigan. And we had a mutual friend in Rodney Harrison, which was my mentor growing up. And and so I called Rodney and got his contact because I was looking at different franchises, and I wanted to hear his pitch of why I should choose launch over a Sky Zone or another park.
Yeah.
I like the answers that he gave me. I'm hands-on, and I like to have autonomy. And they were able to do that without sacrificing the vision of the corporate store.
Okay, well, folks, if you want to check out Jason's launch here in Deptford, it's actually, yes. Well, we're going to send them to the website, launchdeptford.com,
or Launch Deptford
on Twitter, and Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff to get prices, hours, all that stuff. Yeah. But for those in the Philly region, you'd be familiar. It's near the Deptford Mall.
Yeah.
It's literally 5 to 10 minutes on the bridges.
Yeah.
So it's real simple to get to. But I'm curious to know, when you mentioned it a little bit, you knew your career was winding down somewhat and all. When did you have a real feeling? Because I heard that the Falcons have reached out to you and say, hey, Phil, what was it, last year or whatever, they reached out?
Yeah, so I knew it when at the end of my career with the Eagles, I knew my career was winding down just because of the role that I had in Kelly's offense. As you get older, your specs have to continue to increase, so there's a constant opinion of you in this league. Once you get over 30 and your specs decrease they're going to attribute it to age. So I knew that my time was winding down in Philadelphia when Coach Kelly became at the end of my first year with Coach Kelly. Yeah. So I knew that based on the season I had. And so
was he upfront and honest with you? Because obviously around here there was different opinions about Coach Kelly, I guess from the press and the fans or whatever. Did you have a good experience with the man? Or at least a professional one.
Professional ones, yeah. So he's a good coach. He likes what he likes, and that's every coach. Yeah. Every coach wants their way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But everything was good. He was straightforward with you.
Everything was fine.
It was all business.
Yeah.
You know?
For me, I normally never have a problem with Coach, me as a person.
Yeah.
Just because they're to coach you. You gotta, whatever they want, that's what you do.
Yeah, because
it makes a job.
Well, because obviously you've heard certain players and guys you probably know. Complain this, that, but everybody has a different relationship with their boss, their coach, whatever. But everybody I know or have talked to have said Jason's straight up aces. I know people around Andy Reid. We know, other people in the league. It's like when you mentioned Jason Avant, it's like the guy's aces.
Yeah, so I've done. That's good. That's a long career of doing things the right way, but also sacrificing my own need for the team. You know what I mean? There's times where I was a young player that I could have left and made more money, but I wanted to win, and I cared about the development of Deshaun and Jeremy and my teammates. And I thought that they could be better players if I stayed, just from pointers and different things like that.
And you know what? Especially because those guys were on the outside and everything. Yeah. Those guys, the gun too.
Yeah.
I think I know you've gotten some credit for it, at least in Philadelphia, especially here, how tough you were to be able to jump in that slot and say, you know what? It's like a car crash. You know when you're going to get a licking at some point.
Yeah, it's that you're going to pay the price for being over the middle. It's like a taxi.
Yeah,
and that's getting hit. The thing that you don't realize is that in our offense, you have to have a personality in order to play the slot. You have to be very, very smart in order to play the slot, just because you may have to pick up a blitz, you may have to be the hot receiver, you have to be able to see the safeties, you have to relay information from the quarterback to the other receivers that are outside of you. You have to know a whole bunch in order to be that slot person, but also you have to be willing to sacrifice, because just in the West Coast offense, the offense is designed for Jerry Rice. That's who Steve Walsh designed the offense for. So that's the Z receiver. That's whoever T.O. was or Deshaun was.
Those outside guys,
right? So the inside guy doesn't get a whole bunch of love. So you have to have a different type of demeanor.
Yeah.
You can't be a me guy on the inside.
No.
Because you're not gonna get the ball when you like to. You're gonna be a situational player that the catches that you make matters rather than volume.
But on the flip side of that, there's a certain toughness
Yeah.
and intelligence, which you mentioned there, to be able to play that role. And for the coaches and everybody to say, put him in that, whether it's Jason Avant or whoever. You have to, there's a certain amount of toughness and intelligence you have to say, throw that guy there, we know he can do the job.
Yeah, you want a guy, and nowadays we're enamored with how fast the guy is. A guy runs real fast in the combine. Everyone's like, oh man, you got to draft. It's that, and that's just and that's good. Speed is definitely a weapon.
But it's not the whole picture.
It's not the whole picture. You need players that you can depend on, that's consistent. I would rather be a consistent day-to-day player. You get the same thing from him every day. He's good all the time. Not just when it's a big game or not so big a game, that type of thing. I want a person that's consistent. I can trust that person as a coach.
You want 53 guys on your team, and this is not just about the receivers, but the whole picture. I would think, especially, and I noticed that with Andy Reid when he was in town here, that coaching us. You want 53 guys in here, or he did anyway, that he knows he can trust those guys. If he asks them to go do a job, those guys are going to go do the job to the best of their ability.
Yeah, you want those guys. You want those guys that you want talent. You need talent, but you need your talent to be able to buy it. And I think that's where you see success as coach. When your talent buys into the coaching, like for example, Tom Brady.
Okay.
Tom Brady gets dog cursed by Bill Belichick. Does Tom Brady have to be dog cursed by Bill Belichick? Not at all. He can haul off and curse Bill Belichick out, and guess what? Nothing will happen to him.
Yeah.
But he allows himself to be coachable. He buys into the system. You need your talent to buy in, and you need, once your talent buys in, everybody else is going to fall in order.
Yeah, if you're because, and like you said there, and I'm, going to obviously watch how we say this and whatnot, but if we're like a guy like Tom Brady could easily tell you go fly a kite, but he says, you know what, he'll take it and
eat
grin and bear it. One of those, I bet you get some of the other guys, depending on the depth chart, well, if he's going to treat Tom like that, what kind of treatment am I going to get?
Exactly, but 90% of the time, it's not that case.
Yeah,
it's always, and that's what you want as a coach. You want all the guys to be on the same level, all the guys to work hard. When you have those inconsistencies in personalities and guys you can tell to do this and guys that listen and won't listen, you get so many fluctuations in personalities. Yeah, that's when winning becomes hard.
Come on. You were in the league for how long now?
Yeah, 10
of course, you're going to see so many different personalities in the locker room.
Yeah, you just need them to buy in. You're going to have personality. Personality's okay.
Yeah.
You just got to be willing to work hard.
When it comes time between the lines, it's and well, I want to ask you about this because I found it interesting, and we're not obviously a religious show, but I know you are a practicing Christian and all that.
Yeah.
Did that affect relationships in the locker room because there's so many different types of people in the game?
It never did for me because I'm not a religious as far as judging people.
No.
I came from the muck, the mire. I've seen some of the worst things that ever happened that can happen to people.
Yeah.
Just from being from Chicago and growing up in gangs and all that type of stuff. So I never carried a better than you approach to life.
Yeah.
So I always wanted my teammates to be able to come to me. So I shared my story of how God changed me around, how Jesus changed me around.
Yeah.
So they can understand that there's always hope and there's always a chance to turn something around. So I never really had any issues in the locker room with guys. They were always comfortable around me, and I never really reprimanded people for cursing or for doing certain things.
You do your thing, I'll do mine. You
try to. I try to live my life in a way that people will recognize that it's different.
Yeah. Well, but the reason I wanted to go there was because, I'm doing a little homework, watching some stuff and whatnot online, I saw some testimonies, different
stuff
things
like that,
that you've done and whatnot, which is cool. Like I said, each their own. But on one of them, you mentioned something, I forget, like I think you were talking to a pastor, local network in this area while you're still in town. So I can't, sorry that I didn't write it down, but you mentioned during your discussion with this gentleman that your belief in religions and all had kept you from falling into worse positions. Were you that bad off prior to being saved?
Yeah, so I used to. So before I met Christ, man, I was like bad. I used to be in the Gangster Disciples in Chicago, which is a nationwide gang. I was on the corners. I used to sell drugs when I was a little kid, and my surrender to Jesus Christ changed my whole life around. So the grit that you saw was really from the streets. And what made me to be able to sustain it was an appreciation for where God has brought me from. And I used to raise my hands up. What I was saying was, Lord, I thank you.
You appreciate
because I remember everything that I've been through in order to get here, and I didn't deserve to be there. And that's how I played the game. I played the game like I didn't deserve, and I appreciate it.
It was a privilege to play the game.
A privilege because I appreciated where I came from and also the talent that God has given me. And I wanted to show him that I was grateful in the way I did it. So I didn't care about linebackers or getting hit, any of that stuff, because I was playing for more. I thought about the city of Philadelphia when I played. I thought about my family. I thought about my relationship with Christ. I thought about a lot of people. And that's what gave me strength to take a back seat sometimes to some other guys.
Like you were saying earlier about your role on it.
And give in order to reach a better goal. I wish we would have won the championship. Didn't do it, but I gave everything that I had.
You left it out on the field.
Left everything I had.
You know, it's interesting because we've dealt with a lot of folks and former athletes who have decided to base their roots here. Mm-hmm. We've said it multiple occasions here. You know, you're from the Chicago area, you went to Michigan, and then came here as a draft. When you were winding things down and all, and trying to decide what next for my career, what was it about this area? And obviously it had to be a conversation with your wife to say, this feels right to be here in South Jersey, Philly area.
There was a lot of things to it, you know. The relationships that we've established here were lifelong relationships. The relationship that I have with the community here. People just enjoy me being here. Like I'm here every day at the park. And I take pictures, I sign autographs, I do whatever. And for them, it means so much. Not that I was the most famous player ever. It's just that I'm a part of the community, and sometimes people want to bounce their ideas off and see if they're off or not, see if they're right or not. They'll ask me an Eagles question or something, and to have someone in there, it actually helps them in some way. And I feel like that I can help. Our community. It's a lot of stuff going on, and what we're doing is here at the park. Not only are we a park, we're entertainment, and just like we're on a football field, this park is entertainment. It's taking the mind away from the stresses of life, and I knew that I can do that with being here in the park, where people can have a conversation with me. So being in this area, it was. I love the people. I love the hard work of the city, the hard work mentality of the city. And also felt like I can give something back to this area. And other thing too, my wife hates Chicago. So,
I've only been through the airport, so I can't say either way.
And I love Chicago. My wife doesn't like Chicago, and she's from Savannah, and I don't like Savannah, so we stay in Philly.
This is kind of
common ground.
Both, you know. We can make
a lot of different factors.
We can make it work.
Yeah.
But since you brought up launch again, let me transition to this. Mm-hmm. As far as your transition from professional sports now into being an entrepreneur, is there any similarities that you were able to take from football to what you're doing now as an owner?
The biggest thing that you can take from it is work ethic and structure. So there's not many. There are some. The biggest thing is work ethic. Like, you got to be able to put in time. Like, in order to make it to the pros, in high school, I had to get up in the morning when I didn't want to, when everybody else was in, doing things that they like, whether it was partying or going to the mall or whatever they did as high schoolers. I was out running routes. I knew that. I knew that I had to sacrifice then. I was the only high school player a receiver that can bench over 300 pounds, just because I was in the weight room a lot. And
you were putting the work in.
Putting the work in at time. So I recognized that with launch, you had to put time in. So that hard work mentality that you had in football, that carries over into any aspect of life. Now, the organizational structure that I learned with Coach Reed from different coaches that I've had, the difference, one of the biggest difference between each coach that I've had is that Coach Reed is the most organized coach that I've ever had. In college or the pros, everything that we do is down to a science when it comes to everything, where we need to be. In order to be successful, every staff member that we have needs to know at all times what they're supposed to be doing, where they're supposed to be, and how they're supposed to execute their assignment. And that's something that we try to do here at Launch. We don't like people standing around, and we want people to the more you can do, like to do something to help the business out. And in order to do that, they have to have a game plan, and that's what we're big into. You can't anticipate a player or a teammate or employee to do something that they haven't been coached to do. So it's my job to provide them with a game plan, and that's what we do here. And I learned that from Coach Reed. So those things are. Everything else is totally foreign and different. Like there's nothing.
You're still
you have to do with
learning.
accounting.
But it seems like, based on your answer there, that you would be open to suggestions from employees going, hey, we do X, Y, and Z with whatever. Can we try this?
Yeah.
So you're open to ideas?
We're open. A lot of the things that the employees come up with, we definitely listen. And if it's a good idea, we'll implement it.
Yeah.
But a lot of times the employees don't see the back office things. They don't understand cost. They don't understand, margins and different things.
All the other the business side of things,
Because sometimes great ideas can be great ideas, but they're just
how are we going to implement this in a reasonable
it's just not exactly.
Yeah, how are we going to implement it? Well, last football question anyway for you. We got the draft. We're recording this a week or so before the draft. Coming to Philadelphia, which is interesting.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of bringing the show on the road, so to say? And are you going to be catching up with anybody coming to town?
Yeah, but I'll be down there a couple times for different interviews or whatever.
Hey, good promotional too for launch.
Yeah, for launch. Yep. So, but I'm excited about it, and hopefully I get a chance to see. I talked to Mike Vick, and I know he's coming to town. Me and him may go to dinner or something like that. And a few other guys, whoever's in town.